We can't stand over a rose and yell at it, bloom, damn it, and then condemn it for being a bud. Well, we can, and for many of us, that's what we're doing to ourselves right now and why we're not at peace. For all of us that are coming back to God at this hour, it's very important to understand that we are like the prodigal son who has returned home. And because we have been away from our Father's house and from his voice for so long and suffered in the world, we are like abused children coming back to a house. So just imagine that somebody was taken and abused from as a child up into their adulthood, and then they went back to their father's house. And we have to treat ourselves with that kind of gentleness right now, because we have gotten so accustomed to the voice of the ego, the devil, the enemy, whatever you want to say. It's that part of ourselves that judges ourselves, beats ourselves up, uses guilt and sacrifice as our guides, which are guides to death, guides to sadness. So I just want to share some of my thoughts this morning around this, because I think it can be helpful so that we start being kind to ourselves. One of the things that I want us to understand is that our relationship with God is the most important thing that he wants. Walking in the garden with him, walking and being honest as we come back to him and we heal. So if we are in angst because we think we have to go out and do, that is not his voice right now. If this is where you are at, if you are fighting yourself, don't fight yourself. You're not ready. That's good. It means we still have some more healing to do. So just know that all of the to-dos he will guide us to when it's time and when we are healed. So let's let go of any stress over we have to go out and like be these great evangelists for God right now, if that's not where you are. I'm not saying if you're past your healing process, great. This is about rest and honoring the healing process. I've often heard that we have to walk circumspectly with our God. The definition of circumspectly is to be cautious or careful in one's actions or words. So let's be cautious and careful, not out of fear, but out of walking in honesty and in conversation with God, so that he can heal us and guide us to those next steps. So it's okay if we are feeling like we are in a house we don't recognize anymore, because we have finally come home to God and we don't even know how to behave, how to act, what our role is, because we've been gone for so long. And don't worry about that, okay? The other notes that I'll just read from here is that the ego's voice is so harsh, even when we're under it for a very short time. It becomes a voice that we have become so accustomed to, just like a domestic abuse partner, where we have become desensitized and we are just acting out of our own protection and survival. And most are conditioned to those messages because we haven't been able to hear God's voice for so long. And those messages, we don't even question anymore. And they always are messages like, just work harder, instead of asking God to help us through our financial situation with so many laid off or SNAP benefits ending or whatever. The ego is always work harder, sacrifice, plan, control, judge, for and against, serve. Are we serving God out of fear or out of our own happy desire in our heart? Okay. So there is a whole nother way of living and being that is joyous. So when we're not acting fully out of our joy, then there's some healing there to do, and that's okay. So it's more important for us now to take that time to heal than to worry about serving God if, and the reason that I'm here saying this kind of stuff is that I'm kind of stuck in this pattern myself. And, we question, is it disobedience? Are we being, what's the word I'm looking for here? Yeah, disobedience is good. It's like we feel all this pressure, okay? God doesn't work through pressure. He works through healing. And so as each thing is healed, the pressure comes off, and then we can start walking in his goodness and his love. Hold on. Gotta unzip the Safi from the pocket here. I got her in the papoose. I got her in the kangaroo pouch. Yeah, Lily's in the kangaroo pouch. Mwah. Yes, she is. She's in the kangaroo pouch. Oh, goodness gracious. Right up the nose. Okay. All right. So today's message is just to be kind to yourself. We are all newly back into our Father's house as the prodigal children. And so let's be gentle. Be gentle with ourselves. Be gentle. Be gentle just like you would be gentle with an abused child who you've taken into foster, who you have no idea what they've been through or their background. That's where we are in our Father's house. We're safe now. We've landed. We're happy about that. But now we're just kind of like, what next? Just walk. Walk with Father. Walk with him in the garden. Be honest. Cry. Tell him about your anger towards him, your fears, all of the stuff that's going on with you, and then let him speak to you. And his voice is always loving and kind and gentle, and the Holy Spirit is your best friend. All right, guys, just sending this encouragement. I love you. And whatever we do, oh wait, there was some other things I wrote down about ways that, hold on, hold the door. All right. So one of the questions I ask myself in this process, which you can ask yourself and write down your answers, is, what is salvation, Lord? I do not know. This is one of the Course in Miracles lessons. And so mine was, for me, salvation is knowing God is rooting for me and not gunning for me. It's knowing that he is watching over me with love, like I watch over my little puppies here. Yes. It's learning to trust myself. It's refusing guilt's voice. It's healing the idea of blame. Yeah, and it's just being patient with myself, understanding that I am the broken prodigal son who has returned home. I don't know my place anymore in my Father's house, or what job he would have me do to live in his house with him, but that will come, all right? So as we all come home to Father, just understand that it's okay to be confused and uncertain, but what's not okay is to ascribe that to some to-do that's going to take us away from our rest right now, okay? Healing involves rest, always. So let's heal.